These are excerpts from Transformation of the Species by Jani King. Question. Good evening, Beate. I have a problem with developing this love for myself and maybe for others as well. How should I go about it to make it grow, to understand this love for myself and others and everybody? Beate, let us start off with you, eh? You know, love of self is really non-judgment of self, and you may indeed monitor yourself in this area of judgment. When you find yourself in a thought which is limiting for yourself, or in judgment, and you catch yourself, very often, you know, you do not catch yourself in time, and that is all right. In these moments of self-judgment, or indeed judgments outside of yourself, because indeed it is the same, you need only to remind yourself that the source, the God, goddess, the all that is manifest in every particum. When you think of yourself, the persona that be you, remind yourself there is not one part of you, not one facet, not one thought, not one action which is not an expression of divinity. In other words, it is allowable, else it would not be. When you may get used to this monitoring of your thoughts, so little by little, the thought becomes the reality. There will begin to be a reverberation of knowing within you that you are truly God, every part of you. So it is not necessarily to try to make it a big hurdle for yourself, but just as a baby learns to walk, you may learn to acknowledge that you are without judgment. Each step of the way, beloved, you will find that you are supported. There is always assistance. Always. Question. I sort of keep running myself down. Beate. I know. It is very easy. You are all, in a fashion, programmed to do so because those people who live and were raised in this culture have been told that it is not a good thing to think well of oneself. It is called vanity. It is called self-aggrandizement, etc. You know, your parents and their parents before have done a very good job, but it is all right. It is all choice, co-creation. As you know the separation, as you know the judgment, as you know the loathing of self, so you may come into the understanding of allowance and love. And you see, beloveds, it is not to worry too much about other people, because as you come into the allowing and loving of self, so it is broadcast to all, and so it is reflected back to you. Question. You have spoken this evening about coming to know oneself. I would like to know myself better. Can you give me some advice about how to do this? Beate. Very well. We will repeat it. I must say that there's no one who will not benefit from hearing it again. Humanity lives in a universe of duality, polarity, positive, negative. That which is judged to be good, bad, right, wrong, masculine, feminine, black, white, etc. Now, the reason for all of the pain and anguish is judgment, is how you judge yourselves. Since eons in time, you create yourselves, life after life, and each time there are areas in your life which you carry forth. It is not only from this life, and you judge certain facets of the self to be not good. You live in fear of discovery, of being found out. Now why is it that you are afraid, dear ones? It is because if somebody knows really who you are, they will not love you. The basic fear is that you are not good enough, that you are not worthy of love and loving. And so, from the beginning, you very carefully sweep that under the carpet which you judge to be not so good. So as you go through your life and experience invalidation, rejection, betrayal, humiliation, and abandonment, the walls that you build to hide yourself behind become bigger and bigger. In this fashion, you become more and more defensive. Now, there are those who, with much reading and workshops, etc., come to understand the benefit of letting down the defenses, saying, "This is who I am." In this fashion, they are bringing what they judge to be the unlovable parts, the frightened parts, into the light to be embraced, to be acknowledged, to become part of the God light, not to be rejected, pushed away, suppressed, hidden under the carpet. So for many, it is very difficult to come to those areas which are so hidden. There have been many, many years of practice in the hiding. In this fashion, we give forth a little signpost. When somebody attacks you and you defend, what are you frightened of? What are you defending? What are you hiding? Do you understand? In this fashion, you may unearth that which you have been hiding from. You have tucked it away behind your consciousness, but it is begging for the light. We will remind you all. You create your own reality. Absolutely. Your whole universe you personally create. There's nothing in your perception that you do not create. You are responsible. If the situation is one which you would not choose consciously, if it is something you would deny, then, indeed, another signpost. There is no accident. When you have created a situation that is painful to you, you have created it for your learning, for your benefit, not for anybody else's. Although, in truth, it is always for the benefit of all because it is a co-creation. It is always, in truth, if you could but see it, a win-win situation for all people if you will allow it to be so. The bottom line, beloved ones, is you did it all.